Hey guys, Justin here, and I just wanted to bring you guys a quick video all about my first year in real estate. You may have been watching this channel for a while. You've maybe met me on the road when I traveled the nation last year, and yet where I am today is so much different than where I was in my first year. So a lot of people don't know my journey. They don't know about my first year in real estate. They don't know where I came from. So today, that is what this video is all about. All right, so let's just dive right in. So, my dad is kind of the fundamental reason of why I got into real estate. So, if you guys don't know my dad, he's Mike Nelson. He runs a real estate team out of northern Colorado. And in 2012, we ended up moving from Texas to Colorado. He ended up transitioning into the real estate realm right around 2012, 2013. And honestly, he's one of my biggest inspirations in the real estate industry. I saw a man go from, a corporate world job to chasing his dreams, and none of it was easy. And so I had the privilege and blessing to watch that in my early high school career and watch him grow into that. One of the really cool things that I got the opportunity to do, which I would highly recommend you do as well, especially if you're on the younger side watching this, is I had the opportunity to have an in-person internship. Now, of course, I lived with my boss all the time. And so I was one of those kids that always had an entrepreneurial spirit. From a young age, I was doing things. I was flipping this and flipping that from garage sales, or I'd go to Goodwill and buy this. I'd watch Gary Vee on, YouTube, and I would just learn the entrepreneur spirit. And so my journey started with him in real estate. And the cool thing is he let me do everything. He let me do the marketing, the lead gen, anything that I wanted to do, he let me do. I'd watch a YouTube video of this guy or this gal, and I just wanted to be involved in some type of entrepreneurial business. So that's how I got started. So we fast forward, my dad is building a massive company over the first few years, mostly as a solo agent. And then he started to build, he brought my mom onto the team, and then he brought on another agent onto the team, his first buyer's agent. And around that time, that's when I was at the crux of my life of going from high school to college. I was the valedictorian of our class with a few other people, and it was kind of the thing to do to go to engineering school. And at the time, I'd also gotten the opportunity to go play college football. So that was kind of my minor transition. Fast forward, first year in real estate at 19 years old, I drop out of college unexpectedly during one summer. I was taking a class called Bold. I drop out of college and say, I'm going full force. I'm jumping into the family business. And yet I had a few years head start just in witnessing what my dad was doing, being able to see on YouTube a lot of self-search. Most, high school kids at 16, 17 years old were out there going to proms, doing all these crazy things. And I was here studying how to run a Craigslist ad, how to run a Facebook ad. And so that is really where I got my, beginnings, is just doing a lot of self-research, because even a lot of the things that I did for our team are things that my dad hadn't implemented yet, right? He's like, I need you to go figure out this strategy and implement it for us. So he gave me a lot of power to go out there and start to learn the business from a young age. I was also paid on commission. So pretty much from the time I was 16, I was paid on commission from them. If they closed a deal, I got a small percentage of it. So it was a win-win. I had massive motivation to go out there and create wealth for him, myself, and our family. And I got to learn that the more work you put in, the more money that you can make. So very first thing is, number one, if you can find an internship. I don't care if you're 50 years old, 80 years old, 10 years old, whatever it may be. If you're watching this channel and have interest in getting into real estate, the very first thing I can recommend in your first year is go get an internship. It could be free, it could be paid, it doesn't really matter. Just go get some experience. So now let's dive into the nuts and bolts. In my first year in real estate, I did about $360,000 in GCI. And I say first year, that was about the first 16 months. About $360,000 in GCI. Now, the caveat on that is I was on a team. So we had team splits, different things like that. And after my first year, I netted about $120,000 in my first 12 to 16 months on average. Don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was right around $120,000. And so obviously at 19 years old, that was amazing. I was able to a lot of cool things and kind of kick off my investing career and buying homes and all kinds of fun things. And it really gave me a great foundation to move forward. And so I personally, in my first year, I know I wouldn't have had the success in the systems and the drive and different things like that if I wasn't on a team. So in my first year, I was obviously on my dad's team and I was growing with him in that organization. During the first year, I will tell you, it was one of the most rewarding years of my career. And it was also one of the most, scary times or most stressful times as well, but it was one of those foundations that allowed me to launch. And so I get the question all the time, Justin, what is the first year like? What should I expect in my first year if I'm jumping into real estate, and kind of what does that look like? And so for me, I was one of those people that worked a ton of hours in my first year. I had always had coaches and mentors in my life that said, hey, the first year is going to be different than the second year, and then it's going to be different than the third year, and it's going to be different than the fourth year. As a new agent, a lot of times in our first year, what we do is we immediately go into the business and we start comparing ourselves to other people. And I was the worst at that. I'd get in the business and be like, well, why is Joe, even though he may be 26 years old, and at the time I was 19, well, why is he only working 50 hours a week? And why is he closing $300,000 and I'm sitting over here closing 120,000? And I'd go, wow, I must just absolutely suck. And the reality is at that time, I had a young mind and I didn't understand the fundamentals of business enough to go, wait, there's a compounding effect that happens. And the faster that I can start compounding things, the bigger my hockey stick will grow. And we'll talk about what the hockey stick growth means here in just a minute. But I knew that, let's take for example, Joe, who I was unhealthily comparing myself to, he had gotten into the business, let's say at age 22. And this is just a, random example. Got into the business at 22. Let's say he closed 10 deals his first year. 23, he closes 10 deals. 24, he closes 10 deals. 25, he closes 10 deals. Now at the age of 26, he has 40 past clients. He has 40 people in his army that are going around and marching and shouting his name from the rooftop. And yet Joe didn't increase his business any of those first 4 years. He stayed same, he stayed level, he didn't increase his income, he just stayed level. But what I found is when he was 4 years in the business, he didn't have to work as many hours because he had that army going out there and spreading his name. And so for me, it was unfair for me to compare where I was to where they were. So that's kind of tip number 2. Tip number 1 was to go out and find an internship, find a mentor. And you don't have to pay to find a mentor. There's plenty of companies out there that provide mentorship. Obviously, I'm at EXP, so I have a whole line of people that I mentor underneath me. But just know that you shouldn't have to pay for mentorship. If you do, you might not be in the right place. There's plenty of agents that can mentor you at no cost. And so that's number 1. Number 2 is starting to build that army, right? Starting to build that army and understand that building that army is the first and foremost biggest thing. And so my goal in year 1 was not how much income can I make, not how many deals can I close. It's how fast can I build an army of people that get behind me, right? Everybody I meet, whether it's an internet lead, whether it was door knocking, cold calling. By the way, I really never door knocked a day in my life, so just kind of a hint there. You don't have to do something you don't like. I think I've literally knocked on one door and I hated it. So just know that you can niche down into different things that you like to do. So don't know where I was going with that, but got distracted. But being able to build that army as fast as possible. So for me in my first year, it was open houses. It was open houses and internet leads. That was my 2 things. Now, I don't suggest necessarily jumping into internet leads right to start, but for me, because of my background and having many years of doing internet leads for the team, I kind of already had a little bit of experience in that. So open house and internet leads is where I started my entire business. We built it from there. And so in my first year, it was all about how many open houses can I do and, and possibly stay sane? How many internet leads can I generate and, work, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day in lead gen, and then build up that client base. So I knew that if I could, instead of doing what Joe did as 10 deals a year, if I could get to 30 deals in a year, well, now if I did 30 deals year 1, year 2, year 3, now over the course of 3 years, I would have an army of 100 people going out there and spreading my name, and I would be in the same position, if not better, than where Joe was. And so I just tell you guys too, do not compare yourself to other people when you first get into the industry. Comparison is the thief of joy. And for a lot of people, it's the thief of joy. It's like, because when I look back at my career in my first year, I went from thinking that I was going to spend 4 years in college to get an engineering degree to make $80,000 a year. And like 80,000 in my mind, I was going to be happy with that until I was like 30. And then maybe I was going to get to 90 or 120 or 150. Yet in year one in real estate, I got to $120,000 in net to me, 360,000 generated for the team. And I was still unhappy during my first year because I was comparing myself to someone else. But when I was able to remove myself from that situation and kind of remove the comparison, I just finally said to myself, Justin, you had one hell of a first year. And the other thing that I realized really early on is I didn't know a lot about anything. I didn't have a lot of friends my age buying or selling homes, but I had the work ethic to go and just grind it out. And so everybody watching this may be in different parts of their life, right? Just to shoot you straight, if you're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old watching this going forward, guess what? You're probably going to have to spend a little bit more time and a little bit more of a grind to get it rolling. If you're 30, 40, 50, you're going to have to spend the same grind, but you might have a little bit more of an audience that's already ready to buy. So where you're putting your focus is going to be different for everyone, and how much effort, time is just going to vary based on where you are in life. But all I can say is in your first year, just focus on staying consistent. Stay consistent with whatever you choose to do. If open houses is your thing, choose to do it. If you love hanging out with friends, do that. Go join softball leagues, go join meetup groups, go join hiking groups. That is one of the things that really launched me in my first year, is finding what I enjoy doing and just doubling down on it, tripling down on it. When we first get into the business in our first year, we're going to get all these different things. You can do internet leads, open houses, door knocking, lead gen, and we just get so scattered, we feel stressed, and we're trying to learn the business at the same time. I learned if you focus on just one niche that you really like to do, and again, you're not going to love everything that you do, but if you enjoy it more than other tasks, just stick to that one. You don't need to go try them all. And so just wanted to bring you guys a quick video today on that, give you a little bit of my background. My first year in real estate, sold $120,000 in net. I was nothing special. I was just a 19-year-old kid off the streets, of not a lot of business knowledge, had some, but nothing special by any means. So if I can do it, I know that you can do it too. And last little nugget here that I just want to say here is this whole college scam is probably one of my biggest passions when I talk about my first year in real estate. And by no means am I saying that college is a scam, but what I am saying is the scam is when society pressures you to go to college, right? And I'm not saying that everybody pressured me to go to college, but I kind of just rode the wave. Like, that sounds good. That's probably what I should do. And so if you're, 16, 17, 18, 15, however young you may be watching this, or even if you're 30 and you're debating, should I go back to college and do something? Because everybody's saying that, real estate's a risky route, or it's, this or that. Go for it. Just jump in. The people that tell you that something like real estate is risky, they're the people that know in their heart that they wouldn't make it because they don't have the work ethic to make it. Anybody that tells you something is too risky for you to do, they don't have a growth mindset for you to be around, or that's healthy for you to be around to succeed, right? You hear everyone say, the more failures you encounter, the faster you're going to grow, right? And it's true. But people, the instinctive nature of our parents, of our grandparents, of our family members is they don't want you to fail. The problem is that you need to fail to be able to grow faster and grow bigger. And so they're using, they're not trying to harm you or be mean or, try to stunt your growth. They're just, using parental type embedded commands that are embedded in them that they don't even know that are in there to try and protect you. And so if you're feeling some pushback from people in your life to go jump into something, that's probably right then and there when you know that you're actually probably pursuing the right thing, because things that make people uncomfortable is where we grow the most. So I hope you guys got some content out of this video. Would love to hear your comments about where you guys are watching in from. Make sure that you guys like, subscribe. We're gonna have plenty more videos all the way from, as always, tutorials being dropped on a daily basis, some more, vlog type style style videos or informational background on me type videos, and just all of the above. So like, subscribe. We will see you guys in the next video. And as always, check out all the social medias. You know where to find me. I am never too busy for anybody to reach out. So if you've added me on one of those platforms, hit me up. Be more than happy to talk to you about any questions you have, especially those getting into their real estate journey or kind of contemplating it. Because I'll tell you, there wasn't a few key people in my life that pushed me forward, gave me motivation to jump into real estate. I probably wouldn't be here today. I'd be behind a desk, probably very depressed, probably working on an engineering report that I don't want to do, going home to, not happy, just finishing my day. So I have a passion for that, guys. I hope you have a passion for growing where you're at today to where you want to be. So thanks for logging in. We'll see you next time.